Do you have trouble making your own decisions? Do you have trouble deciding on what to eat for a meal, what types of eggs that you want, or whether you are capable of doing a simple task? For me, I realized I had a problem when it came to decorating a Christmas tree for our church that we were attending. Did I do it right? Was there a right way or a wrong way to do it? At the time, I had a lot of work to do to come to terms with what I wanted instead of what someone else was dictating to me that I wanted. Does this sound like you? I was raised to be a victim. I was raised to be controlled and should have remained in the shadow of someone else's decisions. This continued until the year 2010, when I came to realize that God had a plan for me in my life. What changed? God became my victor. He changed my victim mentality into a victor mentality. He began working in me to help me change in order to help other people down the road. What I didn't realize was that it would be another 8 years before we decided to stop going to church, to take what we learned from all our previous churches, and to create a vision for my son, Pastor David Hull's church. We had a name, we had a vision, and a clear path. I then, the same day, created a vision number 2, which was a facility that would create a biblical foundation for future churches which our previous churches lacked, and also a place to network in order to find all your leadership in one place before heading off and planting your own church. What I didn't count on was that my ministry would come first. What started out as a place for me to share my testimony and the resources that helped me personally grow into who I am now turned into something I had never dreamt of. Since launching Inspired Truth Ministry in February of 2019, my son has started his own church. We are part of a team of ministries with similar goals but different giftings, working as one accord. I have added an assistant, not just for my ministry, but for the team. And my son and I are beginning to write to prisoners. My ministry will also be sending out Bible studies to those prisoners, and we're working at writing workbooks to go along with my 2 books, Pursuing My Purpose and Your Value as a Woman. What I wasn't counting on was my ministry growing to help sex trafficking and domestic violence survivors in finding their worth and value in Christ. Do you also have a weight that you've been carrying? Maybe you were told that you weren't good enough to pursue your dream, or maybe you've been shut out of a church like us that had traditional standards of men instead of the standards of God. Maybe you have a heart to save those who are lost. Whatever your passion is, we would really like to help you. The facility that I keep talking about and have had a vision for has now just grown to helping the homeless, women in shelters, veterans, sex trafficking, and domestic violence. I want this facility to equip people to help in all areas of ministry. I'm looking for teachers, students, tech people, building or maybe buildings to grow these learning centers for people interested in pursuing God's purpose for their lives. I want you to know that I don't have all the answers and that I don't have it all together. I just have a big dream of helping people find God in their lives, and it's been an extremely long wait. During the waiting, God was preparing me. He was sending me through the fire. There were times I wanted to give up and give in, but I persevered. While I was busy learning, God was preparing people that I would need to help me see this come true. He was orchestrating my future for my books, for my son's ministry, and the people that I needed and that needed me and what I had to share. In 2017, when we left our church, all of my relationships went with that church. I was forced to rely completely on God. I was forced to pray to Him to send me the right people that would see these dreams come to the surface. And it wasn't until mid-2020 that God would send the first person. And since then, I've had a handful of people that I know of come alongside me and support me and my son. When you do ministry online, impact is so very hard to gauge. Only those who seek me out and tell me how I'm doing are the ones I can gauge how I'm doing from. It isn't like seeing people face to face each week, shaking hands and receiving kind words from them to know if you're on the right track or not. Based on the feedback that I have gotten, I believe what God is doing in my life and in the lives of others. Sometimes when passionate about doing for God, the wait can be painstaking, but God's timing is always perfect. I want to encourage you today that no matter what it is that you are seeking to pursue, the wait may be for God to line up the things in your favor in order for you to be the most effective in your calling. You may be facing doors shutting, silence from the Lord, or people putting you down. Let me tell you something. I was told something amazing by someone, and I want to let you know what it was. Thank God for the rejections that you had. Do you know why? Because it makes you stronger and will strengthen you in your pursuit to do more, be more, and to have more. And this is what I was told. This is the story of my life. If you say, I can't do something, well, I'm going to prove you wrong. That is part of my stubbornness and my determination. So if that is your story as well, God could use you. He is looking to raise an army, not an audience. What will you choose today?